All right, guys, we just have a little bit of notes on 2-1B, not a whole lot. First thing we're going to cover is vocab. Like we said in our foldable, a biconditional statement is what we write when both the conditional and the converse are true. We can combine them as a biconditional statement. And remember, a biconditional statement in the middle is if and only if. There's no if at the beginning of the statement. There's no then in the middle. It's just if and only if in the middle of the statement. Equivalent statement, guys. Equivalent statements are statements that have the same truth value. Okay, they have the same truth value. So equivalent statements, we have the conditional and the contrapositive. So the conditional and the contrapositive will always have the same truth value. They'll either both be true or they will both be false. And then the converse and the inverse are also equivalent statements. And once again, the converse and inverse will both be true or they'll both be false. Now, all four could be true, all four of these could be true, or all four of them could be false. Just know that these two always have the same truth value, and these two always have the same truth value. Now, when I'm talking about truth value, guys, all I'm really talking about is whether or not a statement is true or false. Okay, so the statement or the truth value of this statement is false. The truth value of this statement is true. All I'm saying is it true or false? Perpendicular lines, you guys should probably know this. Just know that the symbol for perpendicular, it looks like an upside down capital letter T. So that's how we write it in math. And two perpendicular lines are lines that intersect to form a 90-degree, or you can write right, whichever one, angle. Okay, let's look at example 5. It says, decide whether each statement about the diagram is true or false. Explain using the definitions you have learned. All right, so let's look at part A. Now, once again, this refers to perpendicular. Okay, so perpendicular. AC, so this right here, line AC and line BD are perpendicular. Is that a true statement or a false statement? Here's your evidence right here. That is a true statement. The reason it's true is because lines are perpendicular if and only if, we'll write it as a biconditional, they intersect at a 90-degree angle. And right here, that's what this box tells us. This is a right angle or a 90-degree angle. All right, so second, let's erase this jazz here. Kind of get a clean slate. All right, angle AEB, so angle AEB is this angle right here. Angle AEB and angle CEB, which is right here, are a linear pair. So is that statement a true statement or a false statement? That is a true statement because two angles are a linear pair. Once again, I'm going to write this as a biconditional. If and only if they are adjacent or right next to and together form a line. So right here, they're adjacent, they're right next to each other, and if you put them together, it would just be this line right here. So they are a linear pair. All right, once again, I'm going to erase all this. All right, now let's look at C. So ray EA, so ray EA is right here. And ray EB, which is right here, are opposite rays. Is that a true statement? That is not a true statement. That is false. And the reason they are not a true statement is they don't go off in exactly opposite directions. So that would be a false statement. All right, I'm going to pause this and give you a second. After doing the foldable and then doing the first few, we should have plenty of examples. You should be able to write each of these as a biconditional statement. So I'm going to pause this, and I want you to write A, B, and C as a biconditional statement. Remember, biconditional statements have an if and only if in the middle, right? No if at the beginning, no then in the middle, but if and only if in the middle. And then you put them together with that. So I'm going to pause this and do that real quick, and then we'll come back with the answers. All right, hopefully you've gone through and done these on your own. And if you got them right, great, good job. If you didn't, that's okay. Go ahead and fix them. So A says, if two lines intersect to form a right angle, then they are perpendicular lines. That is the definition of perpendicular lines. So to write that as a biconditional, it would be two lines intersect to form a right angle if and only if, now notice I've highlighted the if and only if, they are perpendicular lines. That would be how you'd write that as a biconditional statement. On B, it says if an angle is a right angle, then its measure is 90 degrees. Once again, that is the definition of a right angle. So if we write that as a biconditional statement, it says an angle is a right angle if and only if its measure is 90 degrees. Part C, if two line segments have the same length, then they are congruent segments. So the biconditional would be two line segments have the same length if and only if they are congruent segments. So once again, if and only if in all of these, if you don't have an if and only if, it is not a biconditional statement.